Michigan Sports Media. Subscribe.
And hit that notification bell for me. All my Detroit Lion fans, we are approaching the 2023 NFL Draft with our man Brad Holmes, who in free agency this year has addressed a lot of our concerns, especially at the cornerback, picking up players like Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Two of those players are also on one-year contracts, and we have Jeff Okudah approaching his contract year. And for all you sticklers out there, I am fully aware that C.J. Gardner-Johnson is a safety. With the Lions having the 6th and 18th pick in the first round, I am not saying to take this man with that pick, considering we have issues to address the defensive tackle. This is a player that will be a steal, considering he will be there at the end of the first round to mid-second. And the name of that man I am talking about is Emmanuel Forbes. Emmanuel Forbes played at Mississippi State. A 6-foot corner, 5'11 or 6'1 depending on who you're asking. 165 pounds. With the 40-yard dash time of 4.35 and a vertical of 37.5, he played in 35 games and had 150 tackles, 6.5 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, a block kick, 14 interceptions, and 6 pick sixes. That was the most in college football. A SEC corner with length, athleticism, fluidity, coverage ability, and ball skills. His biggest knocks being his weight and effectiveness in the run. He is an important rotation corner with starting upside in an aggressive coverage scheme. In 2021, he was second-team All-SEC. In 2022, he was All-American and All-Team SEC. This year, he allowed a 53.4 completion percentage, gave up 284 yards. He gave up 3 touchdowns, but got 6 interceptions and 7 PBU, allowing a passer rating of just 44. And what's so impressive is Mississippi played a zone-heavy defense, but in man, which the Bulldogs only played 25% of the time, Forbes was targeted 15 times. Only allowed 3 catches, but on those 15 targets, he had 6 interceptions, 1 PBU, and a total of 50 yards, which tells me and everybody else Forbes might have been playing in the wrong scheme the entire time. A corner whose defensive grade since starting has gotten better every year. In 2020, it was 68.8. In 2021, it was 78. And in 2022, it was 87.2. Forbes has been one of the most productive corners in the nation since his true freshman year. He has 20 passes defended, 14 interceptions, and 6 defensive touchdowns in 35 games. Forbes typically lines up as an outside corner in Mississippi State's defense, typically on the defensive right. He has occasionally moved around the defensive formation to the left of the slot, but is usually the right cornerback. Forbes has scheme diversity and played both off-man and press-man coverage as well as zone coverage in the Bulldog scheme. He is surprisingly physical at the line of scrimmage and is unafraid to get his hands on receivers at the start of the play. Forbes is a fluid and athletic corner with a smooth, compact back pedal with quick feet and oily hips. That quickness and fluidity allows him to transition from his back pedal to driving forward underneath passes or staying in phase with receivers as he flips his hips to run. Forbes has great long speed as well as an elite burst and a short area quickness, allowing him to defend vertically or cover quick timing routes. Forbes has a good football IQ and understands his role in both man and zone coverage. He is as disciplined as a zone defender and is a good communicator before the snap. He does a good job of reading quarterbacks' eyes as well as picking up and passing off receivers traveling through his zone of responsibility. He also has a good understanding of post-snap coverage rules and doesn't struggle against release strategies designed to put corners in conflict. Forbes is a legitimate ball hawk. With great instincts and coverage, he does a good job of anticipating the play, baiting quarterbacks into making ill-advised throws, and making them pay when they test them. Forbes puts his length and burst to good use in off coverage, slamming receivers' windows shut, even when receivers appear to be open. His speed makes him a threat to score whenever he gets his hands on the ball. Forbes does need to be more disciplined with his hand usage and man coverage. He can occasionally get grabby down the field, and that will certainly draw pass interference penalties at the NFL level. His greatest weakness is obviously his lack of size. Forbes has a slender frame and a very lean build. He can be knocked around by incidental contact when playing in traffic and struggle to bring down ball carriers when the ball comes straight at him. Forbes has good competitive toughness and isn't afraid to get his hands dirty and run support. But he will struggle to deal with stouter blockers and get ball carriers to the ground when he can't wrap up perfectly. He is consistently forced to sell out completely on tackles, and that often takes him out of good position to make a form tackle. Forbes is a tricky evaluation. He has many traits that scouts love to see in cornerbacks at the NFL level. He has elite athleticism, great length, and fantastic ball skills. He's a tough, smart, and aggressive defender, particularly when making a play on the ball. However, he is undeniably thin, and it shows out throughout his tape. A charitable description of him is wiry, while teams with strict measurable thresholds are probably more apt to use skinny. Forbes was actively avoided by offenses in the tape viewed, and he has the potential to make a game-changing play whenever the ball did go his way. However, his lack of mass and play strength are going to be an issue at the NFL level. Teams will need to make a decision whether they value Forbes' athleticism and playmaking skills more than they are concerned with his whip-thin frame. The potential rewards offered by Forbes' upside are tantalizing, but the potential risks are very real as well. Overall, I think he could be a great NFL cornerback, but he does have his risks. If you've made it this far in the video, I would love to thank you, and I would like to see what you guys think.
Michigan Sports Media. Subscribe.